Christian here from CK Wraps. I've getting a lot of requests on how to do inlays. So this Camaro, we're doing a couple of inlays on this front bumper. We're doing one around this headlight because we have to, because we can't stretch the film into this recess area without the risk of it pulling back out. So we're going to make sure that we're doing an inlay on this nice hard body line right here. I've already laid down knifeless tape so we don't have to cut into the paint. We've already prepped the surface with isopropyl alcohol and we've blown away all the contaminants using a compressor. I've cut the piece to shape and size, well, mostly to size, not to the shape. You can actually create your own templates and make it a little bit easier, or we can take the headlight out completely, being able to reach in here a little bit more. The bumper is still loose, so I'm not too worried about it. I've just mounted it on the top right now, but I have some play as far as being able to move it goes. So we need to basically lay the film in here nice and relaxed and not stretch it in. So we need to make sure our piece is large enough to lay this film in and not stretch it in. So we're going to work the film in, and if you don't remove the headlights, we're going to start to get stuck against the headlights. So you're going to start to notice that with this situation with me. If you mask the headlights off, it's going to help because the film won't get stuck to the headlight at all. We're making sure that we're going all over here. So it's going to be super, super easy. So that the inlay is always done prior to the larger portion of the bumper. The reason being is that we're going to hide this edge when we fold the vinyl back when we do the major piece. And I'll show you an end video afterwards of what this bumper looks like with the inlay there once we've laid over the larger piece or portion of this bumper. So in here it's going to get a little more technical. We're going to probably have to create some relief cuts. So one being kind of right around here as the tension builds. We don't want to stretch the material too much. We want to make sure it's fairly relaxed most of the time. So what I'm going to do is I create another relief cut here once I get this in up to that edge. So I'm going to run my blade on the inside here. I'm not cutting on any paints. I'm not cutting the lens of the light either. Just run this blade out and not cut through our knifeless because we need to grab onto that. Okay. It's always a lot safer to mask the light off or remove it completely. It's going to help prevent you from cutting into it. So to get in here a little bit better, we can lift the bumper. So again, I'm lifting the bumper so I can create some space and some slack behind here. I keep taking the film off of the light because it keeps sticking to it. Again, as we go along, I'm going to then create another relief cut. Up here. So trim off some more of that. Okay. We want to make sure we have enough film, but not too much film. Too much film is going to be a headache when it comes to installing this portion. So having just enough film is important so that we're not getting all bunched up with all this excess film that's going to be kicking around in here. I'm going to push this up as far as I can go with my fingers. So I'm nearly at the top. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but you kind of get the idea as far as laying the inlay in, and that's why it's called an inlay. We're laying it in and not really stretching it in. So I've trimmed that off. I'm going to trim off the excess film on the top here. Get that out of the way. What I'm going to do now is add a touch of heat so that we can seal it nicely around the knifeless tape before we actually pull the knifeless tape. Now back in the day, we used to do this without using knifeless tape. We would do this pretty much by hand. There's a risk when you do it by hand of cutting into the paint, so to reduce the risk, we have this wonderful product called knifeless tape, now owned by 3M. Alright, so I'm going to cut this out with using the knifeless tape. So I've already bent the corner of the knifeless tape so we have a place to grab onto, so it doesn't actually stick to the mirror or the lens, the headlight lens completely, so we have a piece to grab onto. We're going to put our finger over it and pinch it right at the edge and then give it a quick pull. And we want to follow this all the way up to the top, and when I get near the edge, I'm going to keep my finger there to add a little bit more tension so I can get a clean cut all the way through and that the knifeless tape doesn't slide right out. So now, let's remove this. I have a little bit excess film up there. I'm going to trim that off. Okay. All right. Now we need to remove the green tape. As you can see, it's not the cleanest cut over here, so I will have to touch it up because knifeless can only do so much. We're going to go over that edge, and I'm going to clean this up just a bit, being very gentle. And I'm going to clean it up a little bit more. It's not very round. I can get my finger on it. I'm trying, when I'm trimming this right now, I'm trying not to cut right through it. I'm just trying to score it a little bit so I can get it to tear along that line that I scored. Okay? And that, my friends, is an inlay, okay? Again, I'll show you once we wrap over with the larger piece what this looks like when it's all done, but that's a nice clean line for the most part. And when we do wrap over it again, we will have another piece of knifeless for when we fold over, so we can do a very similar cut along that line, leaving about 1/8 of an inch or so overlap. And that's about it. That way that seam that we fold in will be facing the light and you won't be as visible. And that's it. That's how you do an inlay. You can do those in any area that you think would require a lot of stretch. An area like in here is going to require a lot of stretch. And the reason why we don't just stop it off here, because that line won't look right. So we end up following this actual body line with the entire piece. So it's always about following body lines as best you can, because if we put an extra piece in there, it's just going to look strange. Could have done it that way. Some people will do it that way. Not the way I would do it professionally. So that's it, guys. Anyways, thanks for following. For those of you who do, anyone who's not subscribing, please subscribe because there's lots more to follow. I'm going to teach you guys basically whatever you need to know. And yeah, if you have any questions, just please feel free to ask. And for everyone asking how much vinyl you need for an average car, you're looking at about 50 to 60 feet. A tape measure is your best bet. You want to measure square footage. Anyways, that's about it. I hope that answers the questions. And, you know, like I said, feel free to ask me the other ones. Anyways, take care, everyone. Hey, everyone. It's Christian from CK Wrap. So I'm going to show you what this car looks like. We're all finished right now as far as the base color goes. This car is going to get wrapped in a custom camouflage. We're using some rose gold and Vivid Luster black chrome. And so I want to show you the inlays I did here on the front bumper, so we can kind of see that these lines are nearly non-existent. So as I did the inlay in the very beginning, there's no line right there. You can barely see that. We'll do the other side. You can see it a little bit, very slightly. So we've overlapped about 1/8 of an inch. So I just want you to see that, what that looks like when it's completed. And this is the completed vehicle as it is right now. Super badass. Yeah, this is Vivid satin black rusted chrome. Super dope color. Anyways, you want to see more videos, I'll start touching on some of the other few things that you've been asking about, and we'll go from there. Anyways, thanks everyone. Take care.